thousands of Southern California residences crowding Ventura and Orange County beaches amid stay-at-home orders.
Followed by the prediction that millions of pounds of meat will soon be disappearing from grocery store shelves.
And finally, we're committed to bringing you the news, views, and info to go on this episode of the Report Roundtable Discussion. I'm Bree Eastlick.
I'm Jefferson Denham.
And I'm Ryan Matthew, and as you can see, we're continuing to practice social distancing and are going to conduct our episodes via Zoom for the foreseeable future. Although we cannot be together in person, we invite you all to continue to be a part of the discussion. Follow us on Twitter at The Report CSUF or on our Titan TV Instagram at Titan TV CSUF to keep in touch with us and view our content. Well, it finally feels like springtime as higher temperatures were felt throughout Southern California this past weekend. However, even with the stay-at-home order still going on, thousands of Californians flocked to their local beaches to cool off. As Ventura and Orange counties opened up their beaches last weekend, Los Angeles County kept its beaches closed off from the public. It was not a complete free-for-all, though, as those who visited the beaches had to adhere to social distancing guidelines while enjoying their time under the sun. We wanted to know what you guys thought on this issue, so we posted a poll on our official Twitter asking you guys if these beachgoers should have stayed at home. A whopping 92% of you said the order is not lifted and they should stay at home, with a small 8% saying it was okay to go out as long as they were social distancing from one another. And look, we live in Southern California. This is the vacation spot of America, really, for beaches. And so I understand the why. I know what it's like being near triple-digit temperature and just wanting to go to the pool, the beach, wherever it is to cool off. This is not the time to do that, though. Like, I'll say it again, as I've been saying every single week, what we do now is going to directly affect how long we're going to have to abide by these stay-at-home orders or these physical distancing guidelines. And these people, I don't know if they understand that. I don't get it. Something very interesting about this story, too, is that while these beaches in Ventura and Orange counties are open, their parking lots are not. And so this becomes a health hazard as they are now forced to park in nearby neighborhoods. So think about the neighbors or the people living in these neighborhoods who are now being exposed to literally thousands of random people who could potentially be carrying the virus. So that's just one aspect of this whole scary story. And another aspect as well is that lifeguards say it was near 40,000 people at Newport Beach just on Friday alone. It's not, we're not making this number up. It's hordes of people who are doing this. And, you know, this could be compared to the protests that we've been seeing over the past couple of weeks, where people are protesting the stay-at-home orders, the social distancing guidelines, all of these things. But this wasn't necessarily a protest. This was just, it was hot. And people, they weren't trying to make a statement. They were just going out to kind of cool off.
So it's frustrating to see some beaches open and others closed. It's definitely confusing, and hats off to Governor Newsom. I know he is doing his best, and I do feel like he is trying to communicate the importance of the stay-at-home order. I do wonder, though, if there's a socioeconomic factor at play here, if you'll just indulge me for a second. Imagine all the people who can't, say, afford to stay at home and keep their air conditioning going because either they can't afford air conditioning or they don't have air conditioning at all. Let's say they're lower economic status, they just don't have the money. So I could see why people might, like in that situation, might want to go to the beach to get some relief. And I'm grateful to learn that LA, I was reading about this, is opening emergency cooling centers. I do have confidence in our government that we will be researching this and making some sort of hopefully intelligent decision. So, well, speaking of economics and COVID-19, the coronavirus outbreak has changed several aspects of American living, as we know, and a food industry expert now says that our diets might be next on the list, specifically how much meat we consume. One of the largest meat processors in America, Tyson Foods, is warning that, quote, millions of pounds of meat, unquote, will be disappearing from grocery stores across the nation. This comes as some of the largest U.S. processing plants and slaughterhouses cease operation due to thousands of their employees, thousands, testing positive for COVID-19. Okay, the first thing I observed in this story is that thousands of employees involved with the slaughtering and processing of meat products have tested positive. Doesn't that mean by osmosis that, you know, that's in danger of the virus infecting the meats, first of all? You know, and of course you're concerned about the workers. But, and then there was in one of the articles we were referencing that Tyson employees stated that social distancing is nearly impossible. So here's the question, will this affect the American diet? I, for one, certainly hope so. I don't know if you guys watch Bill Maher, but he had a great piece regarding this topic on his show recently. If we could all see how animals are treated and slaughtered, I'll bet it would create many more vegetarians. And that's what happened to my daughter. She saw something like this and it completely turned her. And scientists say much of the ecology that is necessary to supply meat, the vast amounts of land needed to feed beef cattle, for example, tremendously wasteful.
And kind of going off what you were saying, Jefferson, you have to think of the farmers in this situation. We talk a lot about, the grocery stores aren't going to have it. We're not going to be able to buy all this meat anymore. What about these farmers who have all these chickens, cows, and pigs who they can't sell anymore because all of these slaughterhouses, all these plants are closed? And so what's to say that these farmers are now going to have all these animals out? They can't afford to feed them or house them. So they're just going to basically just kill them or let them free, which I don't think that's the right thing to do. But with this abundance of extra meat, right? And then on top of this as well, something I thought was interesting while I was researching this was that these animals, they're not being killed, obviously, but they're continuing to gain weight at the same rate as they were raised to, so then they could be slaughtered for the most amount of meat. Where are these people going to sell this meat? It's just they have a bunch of fat pigs now and nowhere to go with them. So what I think would be a good option in this scenario is donate all this extra meat if you can. I understand the aspect of farmers and having to support their families and support their being, but on the same hand, why not help a hand the same way our governors and our government has been telling us to do to one another in these very difficult times? Maybe this is the time to say, I'm going to be done with profit. I'm not going to think about profit for the moment, and now just try to help.
I work at Sprouts. So we have a lot of options for people, who maybe don't want to eat meat. We have so many, we have tofu and mushrooms. We even have the meatless meat, that's in the Impossible Whopper and stuff like that. So we also have a lot of little sticky notes all around our store that are for gluten-free, keto, vegan, organic. Here's the thing. There's so many options out there right now for people who don't or can't eat meat, that for the people who are even thinking about it, it's time to just go for it. If the shortage is true and it's going to happen in the upcoming week or two, then it's going to go like toilet paper was. So it's going to be time to try new things. Look it up. There's so much stuff on the internet and people that are willing to help you try these new things. So right now it's time to try something new. But I want to go into a little more of the school news. As the country is in shortage of nurses to fight the current pandemic, nursing students are in shortage of clinical hours that are required of them to graduate. However, a group of nursing students at CSUF have found a way to receive these hours, all while aiding Orange County healthcare workers battling COVID-19. ABC's Jessica DeNova has the story.
This is how nursing student Chris Yu imagines his medical career.
Chris, I'll be your nurse today.
Yu's seen here practicing his skills on a dummy just a month into his nursing program at Cal State Fullerton. Fast forward to March 2020 during the novel coronavirus pandemic, 2 months before his graduation.
A lot of the hospitals started dismissing the students. We were worried that if the school couldn't find something to replace those clinical hours, that we wouldn't be able to graduate on time.
That's a hard hit for California, where the Health Resources and Services Administration projects a shortage of 44,500 registered nurses by the year 2030. CSUF faculty left searching for a solution.
Having them meet their hours has been quite a challenge, and it's something that we all, as faculty and the School of Nursing and the university, are working on.
The answer for the CSUF program, the Orange County Healthcare Agency's Operations Center. Here, the nursing students take temperature readings of county employees, research and analyze how OC compares to others in its response to COVID-19, and ensure the quality and quantity of the medical supplies going to healthcare workers on the front lines. Bringing us back to Yu, helping fight a virus in a way he never imagined. Quality control in a county warehouse tracking N95 masks.
I felt privileged and blessed that I was able to have that opportunity to go out and help, even if it was just through quality control, but actually do something that played a part
Yoon has completed his clinical hours and hopes to take his licensing exam and be working out in the field by August.
Alrighty, guys. So I was talking to my mom a little bit before we started this, and she was kind of telling me a little bit more about clinical, which if you're new to the show, my mom is a urology nurse at Kaiser in Roseville, California. So she had to go through all of this. She told me that clinical is the most important thing in a nurse's career for getting their jump start. You can't skip it. You can't shorten it. You have to do the full thing. It's 60% of their degree. So at first, when I first thought about it, I was thinking, man, why can't they just shorten it a little bit? No, you can't do that because it's so important. That is where you get your experience. That is where you learn how to do things to become a nurse. She also said that she has a friend and actually a few people who are in her department who are going from LVN to RN, which is registered nurse. So they're schooling right now and they're not even getting clinical hours. They work in a hospital already and they still can't get hours at another hospital, even though they're already being exposed to it in their hospital. Another thing is that she was telling me about online work. So some kind of alternative, it's called Sims Lab. But she said that you can't do everything online. The state of California and all the other states in the US state that you can only do so much % of your degree online on Sims Lab. So we can't just make it all online. Otherwise, they're not going to get the experience of talking to people and doing things themselves physically. So there's a whole bunch going on. But one thing that I also was really worried about that she was that I had to ask her was, what about pay? Are they going to have to pay more if they get held back and have to stay in until they can get clinical hours? I was really worried about that because otherwise they're going to have to be spending thousands of dollars more by being here for another year or another semester. But one thing she told me is that it is a flat fee. So for people who are worried that, you know, they're going to have to pay more, you're not. So it's a flat fee from the beginning. So even if they have to stay longer, then it'll be okay and they won't have to pay more. But there's so much going on with this that finding the alternatives like CSUF has, I think it's really great because otherwise we're going to be so behind and lack so many nurses that it's going to really destroy the U.S. What do you guys think?
Yeah, going off what you said, Bree, like we saw from the package as well, the Health Resource and Services Administration projects a shortage of 44,500 registered nurses by 2030. That's a whole lot of nurses, and this is the time that we need these nurses. And so I'm glad that people like you is able to still contribute in some sort of way. Is that the way that people like you or students like you thought they would be finishing these clinical hours? No, obviously not. And like you were saying, Bree, and you were emphasizing, it's the very important part of your whole nursing degree is physically being there and experiencing what it's like while having that professional next to you who can kind of guide you until they think you're ready, kick you out of the nest and you're good on your own. And so as much as I want to say, I trust you as a nursing student. It's not like you became a nursing student for nothing. I would trust you to go into the workforce right now. But at the same time, the Board of Registered Nursing have been warned about changes to testing because of the physical distancing requirements. And so the Board of Registered Nursing, they're the platform that nursing students use to get the license that they need so they're actually able to enter the nursing industry. And so because of this, now they're not even able to take these tests potentially for months and months to come. So I think this is a very interesting aspect about the coronavirus. But overall, I want to say that this was somewhat of a positive story for me. I'm glad that he actually was able to finish all of his hours. So congrats to you. And I hope that we are able to find some sort of way to get around this, because we're in a dire shortage of nurses.
Overall, I know that we will get creative, and that's just what human beings seem to be able to do to address this situation. And I just want to express a note of gratitude to all the CSUF nursing students. Thank you for choosing this profession to help others. You guys rock.
Absolutely. And congrats to Chris for graduating soon and for finding a way to get past all this. I think right now everyone is going to have to find some kind of way to get through what we're doing and try and graduate. So we'll see how it goes. But you know what, guys, that's all we have for the time today on the Report Roundtable Discussion. Everyone have a safe week and stay tuned for more news, views, and info. I'm Bree Eastlick.
I'm Jefferson Denham.
And I'm Ryan Matthew, and as always, stay fresh, Fullerton, and stay safe.